This is Sandra Gammons with Howard University School of Social Work. I am having a little technical difficulty. I just want to make sure that everybody gets logged in. So we're going to give it another 2 or 3 minutes before we get started. So bear with me as I pull up today's PowerPoint about the MSW program at Howard University. Hang tight. Okay, I'm trying to make sure that I am in the chat room with everyone. So, welcome to Howard University School of Social Work information session. We are celebrating 81 years of social work education, and we are so pleased that you chose to join us to get more information about our program. The School of Social Work is located on the main campus of Howard University. This is the Ina Bell Burns Lindsay building, and it's on the corner of Georgia Avenue and Howard Place. So right before the main gates of the yard for the university. First things first, I want to make sure that you are following us. We are the School of Social Work at Howard University. And we also have an alumni page, which is HUSSWAA. And then there was a participant survey that you should have received when you signed up for the webinar. Today we're going to talk about a little history of social work, what makes Howard University School of Social Work the place to get your MSW, with a discussion on the Black perspective. We're going to talk about our curriculum, go over our housing, discuss financial aid and financial support, and talk to you about the application process and what the next steps are. So, social work is a profession that's devoted to helping people function the best they can in their environment. And this can mean providing direct services or therapy to people, or it can also mean working for a change to improve social conditions. The profession of social work has its own body of knowledge, code of ethics, practice standards, credentials, state licensing, and a nationwide system of accredited education programs. And all of these equip the professional social worker to combine the desire to help others with knowledge, skills, and abilities and ethics to provide that help. Social workers are change agents and managers and administrators. We serve at all levels of government. We serve on local councils and the state and federal level. We're educators. We provide therapy and we conduct research. We did a study and found that the projected growth for the need of social work through the year 2022 will increase 19%. And so, in that increase of social workers that are going to be needed, you'll find that the healthcare profession, behavioral health care, family and child workers, and other nonprofit social workers, and in other arenas, is where you'll find opportunities for individuals who receive their Masters of Social Work. When we think back to Jane Addams, we celebrated 100 years in social work in 1998. And in 1931, Jane Addams was given a Nobel Peace Prize, and she was known for establishing the settlement houses in Chicago for immigrants in the early 1900s. And she was considered a dedicated community organizer and peace activist. Other social worker pioneers that you might be familiar with is Dorothy Height, Whitney Young, Jane Hoye, Lester Granger, and Frances Perkins. As you move into your professional career, by now you may have looked into other organizations that will give you information about your chosen profession. So, some of those organizations include the National Association of Social Workers. Then you have the National Association of Black Social Workers, the National Association of Puerto Rican and Hispanic Social Workers, and then the International Federation of Social Workers. And so, what I encourage you to do now is that while you can get that low student membership rate, is to become involved and become a member so that you can be abreast of all of the dynamics and the changes that are occurring in the profession of social work. Most states require you to pass the social work licensing examination before you can practice social work. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later. All states utilize the Association of Board of Social Work Board examinations. So there's one examination for every state. Howard University, like all other institutions that provide a Master's of Social Work, they are accredited by the Council of Social Work Education. It is the programs and individuals that ensure and enhance the quality of social work education for professional practice. And then we're recognized by the Council of Higher Education Accreditation as the sole accrediting agency for social work education in the country. And so, just as you have doctors and lawyers and dentists and veterinarians, they all receive a foundation of the same information because the profession requirements. There is a methodology to dental cleaning. And so, no matter what dentist you go to, they are all going to use that method of dental cleaning. And so, the same is when we talk about social work as a profession. There is a standard way that we engage people, that we assess people, that we provide support, information, education, and services. And so, because Howard University is accredited by the Council of Social Work Education, you can be assured that we are in line with the professional standards. Our accreditation is validated through 2020, and Howard University is ranked in the top quarter of all schools of social work in the nation. We currently have a MSD PhD program as a dual degree. If you come to Howard University and you already have a master's degree, you then qualify if you're interested for the MSW PhD program. And then we have a MSW MDiv, a Master's of Social Work and a Master's of Divinity that we will start taking applications for and provide information in fall of 2017. At Howard University School of Social Work, our mission is to prepare MSW graduates for advanced professional practice at local, national, and international levels for the solution of human problems and to become leaders in their communities and to prepare doctoral graduates for research, the professorate, and leadership in the global community. We are celebrating 81 years. We started off in the Johnson building in the upper left-hand corner. Then we moved to the School of Social Work in 1952. And then in 1970, you can see our current building, the Annabelle Burns Lindsay Hall. Dr. Annabelle Burns Lindsay received her undergraduate degree from Howard University. And then in 1937, she received her MSW from the New York School of Social Work and became the first dean of Howard University School of Social Work, where she served for 30 years. When you graduate, you will be a Howard Prepared Social Worker. And so, as a Howard Prepared Social Worker, you will use the 6 principles of the Black perspective as a toolkit to provide the highest level of professionalism to individuals, community, and society as a whole. And so the Black perspective is a long-standing commitment to improving health outcomes of vulnerable populations. We use the Black perspective as a guiding philosophy, and it focuses on strengthening families through an emphasis on policies, practices, and cultural dynamics that contribute to or that diminish the capacity for success. There are 6 principles to the Black perspective. The first one is the principle of affirmation. It celebrates the richness and the productivity and the vigor of the lives of African Americans and Blacks in the United States and in other parts of the world. Principle number 2 is strengths. It delineates ways in which the strengths of these groups can be used to respond to the continued oppression of African American people, searches for causes, consequences, and eliminates oppression. So we look for the strengths in individuals to move forward. Principle number 3 is diversity. And that we know that the simplistic global characterization of Black individuals, families, groups, and communities are intolerable. We are a diverse people, all shades, all classes. We are a diverse community. Principle number 4 is vivification. And the Black perspective is a positive and vivifying stance. It's not a negative or exclusionary one. Social justice, principle number 5, It means a special sensitivity to the experiences of all oppressed and underserved groups in American society. And principle number 6, internationalization. We have an international dimension with a special emphasis on Africa and the Caribbean, and that it is intrinsic to the Black perspective, especially in areas where issues of social justice and social welfare for people of color is crucial. And so we want you to understand that while our students are uniquely prepared to engage and work with diverse Black populations, we are also equally ready to work with all other populations, particularly those that have experienced oppression and discrimination. As a Howard prepared social worker, in addition to the Black perspective, we offer both campus-based and online courses. In fact, first year classes can all be taken online, and hybrid courses are offered the second year. We do have an international service learning program. We do take 20 or more students to Cape Town, South Africa, or Haiti, or the Caribbeans during spring break to provide social services. It is a competitive process. We start the applications in the fall for the trip that occurs during spring break, which is usually in March. We do have limited graduate assistantships, and we do provide you information so that you can access external scholarship opportunities. We're going to talk about the core competencies that you'll be learning as you go through your graduate program. Professional identity, critical thinking, ethical practice, diversity in practice, research-based practice, practice content, policy practice, human behavior, and human rights and justice. And we'll talk briefly about these as we go along. Professional identity. You will learn to identify as a professional social worker and to conduct oneself accordingly. Just because you are good at helping people, giving advice, there is a professional way to do that. So we help you identify as a professional social worker and conduct yourselves accordingly. Another core competency is ethical practice. We show you how to apply social work ethical principles to guide professional practice. Critical thinking, to apply critical thinking to inform and communicate professional judgments. Diversity in practice, to engage in the diversity and differences in practice. Advanced human rights and social and economic justice. We engage in research-informed and practice-informed research. And we apply knowledge of human behavior to the social environment. We also teach how to engage in policy practice to advance social and economic well-being and to deliver effective social worker services, to respond to contexts that shape practice, and also to engage, assess, intervene, and evaluate with individuals, families, groups, organizations, and communities. So let's talk briefly about the curriculum overview. The direct practice focus, or clinical focus. We're helping people enhance their own coping and problem solving efforts. Direct practice focus also facilitates effective interaction between people and society, societal institutions, and resource systems. And then change efforts directed at problematic psychosocial interpersonal functioning, and change efforts directed at societal and institutional environments. Direct practice roles includes mental health therapists, school social workers, protective service workers, case managers, probation officers, child therapists. So those are the roles if you were to choose direct practice. And then there is community administration policy practice. So within social work, you can choose direct practice, which is that clinical track, that individual therapeutic track, or you can choose the community action policy practice, which is more of a macro level organizational management area. So with the community administration policy practice track, or CAP as we call it here at Howard, you will practice at the advanced levels with stakeholders in a larger system, such as organizations and communities. Um, you'll engage in the creations of policies and opportunities and service to promote human well being, self determination, and empowerment for African Americans and other people of color. And you can practice in communities, organizations, and human service deliveries systems while working to achieve organizational change. And so when we think about the macro practice, we think about training and staff development, management analysis, program directors or coordinators in community agencies, executive directors or assistants in social welfare agencies, deputy directors, program analysis. So the CAP or the macro professional roles um, are more organizational, more system structured. So in the middle, you see direct practice or CAP concentration. So you have to decide if you're going to do direct practice or CAP. But then you get to pick a field of practice specializations, and that includes social gerontology, healthcare, criminal justice, displaced population, mental health, family, child, and welfare services. So when you decide if you're going to do CAP or direct practice, that's the type of service that you want to provide as a social worker. But then you're going to decide really who your target population is, who are those individuals that you're going to work with on a regular basis. And of course, this may change throughout your career, but you have to put some thought into which area you're going to go into. And there's more information about the fields of specialization on the website. So now let's talk about the curriculum for the MSW program. A full-time new student takes 4 semesters. And so these are the classes that you would take: human behavior 1 and 2, social welfare policy 1 and 2, You'll have research methods for social workers, data analysis, and practice evaluation, each of those classes. And then you'd have your methods course for direct practice or for CAP practice. And then you'd have your other courses to take based on your specialization. In addition to classes, each semester you will have your field education. And the MSW program requires a field education learning experience that allows you to the practice of social work with input and guidance from a professional social worker. The field prepares you to acquire entry-level jobs upon graduation, and field education also helps you engage in competency development in an ethically sound environment. So give me 1 second. Because you can see me, right? Okay. All right. So for field placement, when you're a full-time student, your first semester, your first year, first semester is 16 hours. Your first year, second semester is 16 hours. So for your first 2 semesters, you're going to be 16 hours a week in your field placement. And then for year 2, for your first and second semester, you're going to be 20 hours a week. So in addition to your classwork, your classes, you have your field education assignment. And then throughout the course of the semester, there are other workshops and seminars that you'll be attending as well. The university requires that all graduate students take and pass an expository writing exam. And I want everybody to take a deep breath at this moment. You've got a bachelor's degree. You've written several papers. You have completed the application process to get into this program. Clearly, you have a skill set to write essays. So this expository exam is just an opportunity for the university to gauge your writing, because writing is important at the graduate level. And so we want to make sure that we identify those who need help in their writing, and we get them some support that they need so that they can be successful in the graduate program. The expository writing exam is administered during orientation. And so just wanted to make you aware of that. We also have a boatload of elective courses, such as psychopathology and advanced community organization. Electives include things like substance abuse, human sexuality, family therapy, group therapy. So there's a wide variety of additional classes that you can take to enhance your field of practice. So as you go through the application process and you think about what your graduate studies look like, you have to make some decisions if you're going to be full-time or part-time, what concentration, what field of practice, and advanced standing if you have your BSW. Are you going to be full-time or part-time?